Thank you, ma'am. I now request Mr. Abu Bakr, MC member, convener for academic committee, to please come onto the dais and give the felicitation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulil Ameen. Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Respected Chief Executive of Yara, Mr. Khalid Al-Idris, the Ambassador of Yara, Mr. P.V. Ashraf, my colleagues in the Management Committee, our beloved Principal Mrs. Asima Salim, our teachers, the parent community, and last but not the least, the budding stars of Yara Garden. A very good morning to you all. May the peace and blessings of Allah the Almighty be upon you all throughout your life. It's a great honor and privilege to address you from this dais during this auspicious day of nursery graduation of our nursery children. You know, these kids, they are entering into a more formal phase of their education, and the young parents must be anxiously watching their every step, their growth with love, affection and pride. I congratulate all those parents as well at this day of the auspicious nursery graduation. I don't want to take too much of your time, but being an old parent and seeing these, these young kids, I would like to share some of my feelings to these new parents. You know, thank God, by the will of God, these kids are going to enter an exciting period, in the history of our time, in the history of our country. You know, these kids are entering into a very, very memorable times, because, you know, our country, as you know, is at the threshold of a huge economic growth. India is considered as one of the more, popular and resourceful source for human resource potential for the growth of the world, as a motivating power for the future of the world economic power. And inshallah, by the time these kids, finish their formal education and enter into their professional life, people will be, waiting for them to compete and to complete their fabrication and to attract them to their folds, unless they decides to start something of their own business or industry or whatever they feel like. So inshallah, they are going to see a very bright future. And what I want to tell you, the parents, that you need to be, the only thing what you can do is to invest in their education, to be, to be aware of the advances or the change in the community, change in the situations, change in the world scenario, and be with them in every step and support them, nurture them and invest in them. Because particularly I am from Kerala, and we know my Keralite community, we come to Gulf with only one intention: work for a few years, maybe 3 years, 4 years, save as much money and go back. But this going back happens after 30 years or 35 years. Sometimes sometimes they go back in a box, not as a personal seat, travel seat is a airplane. So we plan very short-sightedly, and in this anxiety to save as much as you can in this short span, you forget about a lot of things, including, you don't stay live in a proper house, you don't have a proper car. Maybe some of them are also financially not well off, or maybe they don't have that couple of decent jobs. But still, many of them, even if they have, they plan very short-sightedly and then finally end up in a mess. So I tell you, you don't worry about the future. The future is very bright, but invest in these children, invest in your children. This is the only message I can tell you. And the things as the picture is bright on one side, the other side, the responsibility on you parents, on their development, on their moral, ethical, and social or whatever, emotional, all those developments is all the more heavier these days, because earlier days it used to be a community living. There will be extended families. We were supervised in my young age, like 40 years or 35 years back. Everybody used to take care of the children. Like, we are free, but at the same time, even the neighbors had a right on us to punish us or to correct us. Even the teacher, if he beats up the children black and blue, the parent will go and congratulate the teacher and thank him. But now, if you raise your hand, then next day, what happens. There will be emails and YouTube, photographs and all those things. So things are much different now. The parent is the sole responsible for the careful upbringing of the children, and they spend very few hours in the school. Rest of the time they are at home. So you have to be quite more educative. Your responsibilities are more stronger, more heavier. Please be aware of that. I don't want to continue with this and steal your time, because we are anxiously waiting for the next programs. I'm sure there will be quite a few items which will be pleasing to your eyes and ears. I wish all these children once again all the very best. I thank the teachers of this our nursery section. I congratulate all those staff and whomsoever work for this last 1 year in this nursery. I congratulate them for successfully bringing up these children to this stage. May Allah bless these children and all of us. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.